self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists. What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists, back for another wonderful episode.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Rick and Morty, people. Go and watch it. I want to let y'all know about the website. www.conversationconartists.com is where you can go to check out our latest and older podcasts, as well as the stories that we are talking about today, as well as you can leave us some feedback on the website through the letter link. Hover over that. It'll give you options and you can, do that thing. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Mister_on-point.
And I can be found at Red_Calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it in to the website, or you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartists@gmail.com. And we have 2 letters this week, both of which are about marriage, which should be fucking hilarious, because my views on marriage are not quite the same as the average woman's. But first question was, do we think that it's okay for women to choose their own engagement ring? I don't know. Okay, so here's how I feel about engagement rings. I remember being in college and having my friends go on and on about the kind of ring and the carats. And it's like, the ring, essentially, all it means is a sign to other niggas, like, that I belong to somebody else. Like, it is a symbol to the world, because men don't wear engagement rings. So until they're married, they have no symbol on them that says, hey, they're involved in, like, this serious relationship that's moving forward. But I have on this ring. So I've never really cared. Like, to me, I wouldn't give a fuck about the ring. Like, I'll wear whatever ring you buy. It's not going to matter to me. How would you go about even, like, doing that? Like when he proposes, are you going to be like, well, that's a cool ring, but I saw another one and it's my dream ring, so I'm saying yes to the question, no to the ring. Like, how do you manage that?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's a bad idea. I think a woman should give a man as many hints as she possibly can to lead him down the best path of decision. But I think that there's value in it being his decision, and there's value in him putting in the time and effort to choose a ring that, like, he wants you to have, if you subscribe to marriage like that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily subscribe to marriage like that, in the context that people make marriage out to be more than it is. To me, most people get married because of religious reasons. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I've had some dialogues with people on Facebook and in person, and I ask, what's the end goal of a relationship? And people be like, well, marriage. I'm like, no. Marriage is the beginning, technically. At best, marriage is a milestone. Mm-hmm. And so if you found and chosen a person that you would like to be with, that you could see yourself being with forever, that you would marry, then why would not marrying them change what you could be to and for that person? And so I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea of marriage. People want marriage to represent a change in a person. You got the same person you had yesterday as you're going to have the day after tomorrow.
Basically.
But...
And don't get me started on these weddings that y'all spend y'all whole motherfucking life savings and your parents' life savings on for one day. I do not understand it. I have a coworker that's currently planning a wedding. She is stressed out I've ever seen anybody in my life. And I asked her, like, why? Why are you doing this? But it's because, it's my dream wedding. Like, one day you've been planning this shit for over a year. Like, you got to deal with your family and motherfuckers not paying for shit on time, and then all this money for a venue and a DJ and a reception. Like, girl, what? Like, I'm not going to have a wedding. Like, I've already told my parents just to prep them for it. Like, not saying that I'm not going to get married. I am saying I'm not going to have a wedding unless y'all going to plan the shit. If I could be like the dude and just fucking show up, cool. But if you expecting me to have any kind of interest in planning a wedding, not going to happen. Because I have no desire to do that. I think it's a colossal waste of money. I would much rather pay for a kick-ass honeymoon that I and he will enjoy, because that's the whole fucking point. It's about us. It's not about y'all. I'm not going to throw a party for y'all so that you can see how happy we are, because it's stupid. I would much rather spend that money on that or towards the house than on one damn day.
Talking about a dream wedding so you can go into your marriage in debt. Like, I got dream loan repayment. I got dream car paid off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got dream, let's, put a great down payment on this house. I got, my dreams are going to help the marriage in the long term.
Exactly.
Just walking in the door to marriage costing that much.
And we're talking
I don't know. That don't make sense to me.
Thousands of dollars. Just wedding dresses alone. Look, and I love my friend to death. Shout out to you if you're listening. I was asked to be maid of honor. I've only been asked to be maid of honor once, and I will never fucking do that shit again. Because I spent like $200 on a dress that I could only wear once for somebody else's day. Not to mention the amount of shoes, the getting my hair done to match everybody else's, getting the jewelry that had to match everybody else's, helping plan a bridal shower, which I don't even fucking believe in showers. I hate them. They're boring. Like, it was a lot of money. I don't know how you ask the people in your life, hey, I need you to spend hundreds of dollars because I'm about to make a change in my life. I want you there. Like, to me, it's not an honor. To me, it's just like, bitch, you asking a lot. You asking for a lot of money and a lot of time for some shit that is, to me, unnecessary. Like, I don't understand it. It's a lot of money. It's just so much money. So, again, I don't have the viewpoint of the average woman, so I'm probably not the person to ask about rings because I don't care. It wouldn't matter to me because, again, all it is just a symbol for everybody else that, like, he don't talk to me, I'm not available, and he don't wear one. I'm the one that wears one till we go to the courthouse, so I don't give a fuck what it looks like.
I got a couple of friends that have invited me to be a part of their wedding party, and one of them I couldn't be there because I didn't have the money. Mm-hmm. And so for me, what that means is that if I ever get married, I'm going to make sure that I pay for everybody's stuff. If you're important enough for me to want you to be a part of my wedding, I don't want to take a chance on you not being able to attend because of finances or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how important it was for him that I be a part of it. But I just know that I wasn't because I wasn't financially able to. Yeah. And so for me, in the future, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to make sure who I want to be a part of it don't have no reason to tell me no, but no, I don't want to be a part of it. That being said, I'm writing a contract because if you get a divorce, I'm going all my shit back. I want my money back. I want gas mileage back. If I had to take off of work, I want that money back. You gonna be if I'm coming and I'm paying money, you gonna be married forever. I promise you. Or we gonna have problems. I'm gonna write up a contract for their asses, and a prenup for the group. Exactly. Like, if you get divorced for the duration of this, I want my money back. If I'm still alive, I want money back. Death is the only way you get out of this shit and not paying me back. I assure you.
It's a lot. Words are a lot, man. Now, this other question, I'm going to try not to get out of pocket, which is difficult for me. I'm going to make an attempt.
Just commit to getting out of pocket. Just go ahead and commit. Just do it.
Okay. She says, my boyfriend has said that having my parents at the wedding would be a deal breaker for him. He says he enjoys spending time with my parents when we go out to dinner with them, but long periods of time during the holidays feel like torture to him. Not because of anything about my parents. They love him and already treat him like family, but because he says he feels like he has to constantly be on his guard regarding what he says around them. It's kind of hard to explain, but my family was very leave it to beaver without the insidious misogyny, while my boyfriend's family was more shameless. Despite the massive dysfunction, he was basically able to express himself however he wanted, curse, and speak freely about sex and drugs. I got in trouble for cursing. My parents disparaged marijuana on the regular. He and I live in a state where it's been decriminalized, and they kind of act like sex doesn't exist. I understand how uncomfortable it is to have to censor yourself, and I also understand that asking him to be extremely uncomfortable on his wedding day is not okay. I understand that this is his ultimatum. Get married without my parents present, or don't get married at all. He's not budging, and there's no room for negotiation. He's perfectly okay with never getting married, so the proverbial ball's in my court. What should I do? Bitch, run. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Ain't no ball in your court. Ain't no ball in her court.
No.
She gets shit end of the stick either way. I don't know why she think the ball in her court.
Why would you want to marry somebody who says because they can't curse and motherfucking like be an asshat that your parents can't come because they gonna call him on his shit? Like y'all hear anybody who's listened to even one episode, y'all know I cuss my ass off. It's what I do. That's my vice. But when I'm around my parents, because I know my parents don't play that shit, I don't curse at all. If I'm around somebody else's parents out of respect for their parents, I don't curse at all. And I don't talk about the things that I would talk about normally out of respect for them. It doesn't kill me. It isn't uncomfortable to the point of I feel like I'm super censoring myself. I'm just in a different setting, so I behave accordingly. That is not something that is just horrible for you to ask of him, to just not be an asshole. Like, I don't understand. And the fact that you're even considering or that you're asking, instead of just being like, well, we ain't getting married then, motherfucker. Instead of that, you asking how to, essentially it sounds like you're asking how to break it to your parents. Because I feel like you would get married without your parents to appease him. And that is not the way that you want to start a marriage, by alienating your parents. Because guess what? He sounds like an asshole. And if he does, in fact, turn out to be an asshole and y'all don't stay together forever and ever, then your parents are going to be the ones that you're going to need to fucking help you with this shit. Like, girl, what? Are you kidding me? What the fuck?
So, did you take the path of out of pocket or not out of pocket? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to gauge where you were at with that.
It's pretty much, it was out of pocket. I wanted to be nicer. But it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, are you kidding me?
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know where you were with that.
It was out of pocket.
But first off, I think this is I don't want to get married tactic. Like, how far are y'all in this situation? Like, did he ask you to marry him and you said yes, and then he said, you know, your parents can't come? Or is it like having dialogue about potentially getting married one day? He don't want your parents to be there, because I don't see why you wouldn't just be like, okay, let's get married at the courtroom next week. You know, like, that meets all of your specifications of this situation. Because I'm likely to believe that he just trying to avoid getting married in general. So he threw out a stipulation that you are likely not to agree with.
She said that no, they've not told later on. I didn't read the whole thing. It was a bunch of rambling, so I read the important part. She did say that neither set of parents know that they're engaged yet. They are engaged, but they haven't told the parents yet.
Why would he not bring this up at first anyway? Look.
And the fact that it ain't because your parents hate him. It ain't because your parents are rude to him. It ain't because your parents treat him poorly. It's because he can't curse and say stupid shit around your parents. Like, that tells me a lot about him as a person. Like, are you, what?
I mean, it tells about how his relationship with his parents must be.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean, he must have had them parents that really didn't censor themselves, didn't give a damn, didn't stop their kids from saying stuff. If she got parents with those boundaries.
But even with growing up like that, he went to school, and I know he wasn't able to do that shit in school, or he stayed in trouble all the time. It sounds like he probably has some employment. That's another situation in which you can't just go in saying whatever the fuck you want to do. It's not like he can live his life outside of her parents, completely uncensored, and not having to behave in a certain type of way.
That's why I think it's a tactic.
Yeah.
It's a tactic. It just don't make no sense any other way to make that kind of stipulation. I mean, it'll be different if he was like, I hate them motherfuckers. I don't know what they got going on, but I can't stand your parents. And he talking about holiday, like, it don't make sense. The only thing that makes sense to me on the list and scale in my head of all of the shit, that the only thing that makes sense is that he just don't want to get married to you. And he engaged you, got engaged to you to appease you, but now this is gonna hold up the marriage. You got options. You can either say, okay, my parents ain't gonna be there, don't do that. You can say, well, okay, no, we not gonna get married then if that's the case. But that means one or two things. That means y'all, one or three things actually. It means that y'all ain't gonna get married and y'all gonna stay together forever. It mean y'all ain't gonna get married and you can get the fuck on from his crazy ass. Or it mean y'all gonna get married when your parents die. I mean, that's a thing too.
It is. I mean,
Can his parents you should be like, look, your parents can't come then. Nobody can't come. It's just gonna be me and your ass.
and a friend for the witness. I think you have to have a witness at the courthouse, don't you?
Really?
I think so.
Ain't the people who do say the shit ain't the witnesses?
I feel like you usually have to have at least one witness. I don't know. If you make this concession, okay, if you do this, if you have a full ass wedding and don't invite your parents, that is going to set a very unhealthy ass tone for the course of this relationship, where he going to be able to create ultimatums to make you do bullshit just so you keep him, just so he'll, like, that's fucking, what? Who finna do that? See, this lets me know a lot about y'all relationship in general, because I can promise you, I can say this with the utmost confidence. Anybody that's like been dating me for a while would not even fucking say that shit to me, because they wouldn't want to deal with what would happen after that. Wouldn't happen. I just don't believe that anybody who knows me well would say, well, we can get married, but your parents can't come. Because the hell that would rain down after that wouldn't even be worth it. And he would know that shit. He would fucking know better than to do that. The fact that he even comfortable telling you that your parents can't come to, we just got through talking about how women that like weddings feel like it's going to be the biggest day of their life. And your parents, who you say you have a Leave It to Beaver ass, Cosby ass relationship with, can't come? What? Like,
for people that subscribe to marriage is supposed to be about wanting to, solidify your individual selves into one unified relationship, a union. That's what it's about. Either he want that or he don't. Like, your parents coming to the wedding, if it can derail that, I'm inclined to say he don't want you to the level that you need him to want you to want to be married to him. And so you can do what you want with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no psychic. I'm no, but I would say that it don't seem like this would be starting out on a good foot. So again, I would just feel like if you didn't invite your parents, had a wedding anyway, alienated them, then the shit don't work out, then you gotta you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna be an awkward ass thing.
This is like the classic, give them an inch and they take a mile.
Yep.
If you give him this mile, because this is a mile, he gonna take a whole bunch out of your relationship, because he gonna know where he can hold you. And think of the future of y'all relationship. What else is he gonna deny your parents access to?
Can they not come to the christening of your child? Can they not be present at the hospital when you give birth?
Can they not babysit your child when they need to be there? Can he not? Like, when
birthday parties, can
exactly,
they not come to
like,
the kids' birthday parties? Like, because he gonna have to censor himself,
Yeah, this is just gonna set a bad precedent. And if him not wanting to censor himself is the reason, what about when you have children?
Exactly. He gonna be out here saying all kind of motherfuckers and all of this shit, and you didn't grow up that way, probably don't have those same ideas. So you gonna be cool with him not censoring himself around your small kids and little Johnny going to the school calling the teacher a bitch? Are you gonna be cool with that?
So this ain't just about your parents coming to the wedding. This is about setting up the culture for your relationship. What he's going to expect out of you and what he's going to try to take from you if you allow him to take this from you right now. The difficult part for you is that in order to not take this, you got to lose something. You either got to lose getting married or you got to lose this relationship. But it's just not a good idea to let somebody have such extreme terms that you got to, ask somebody whether you should do it or not.
Cause I tell you, and talk about dysfunction. I have one of the most dysfunctional families I know. I don't give a fuck. Like, if I get married, they're gonna be there. You gonna already know they crazy and have learned how to deal with them the same way that I have, and that's just what it is. Like, this is not how you want to start off a relationship. It's just not a full term marriage. That's not what you want.
To be honest, I don't even care about anybody's relationship with the parents. The audacity that he has to ask you that, the audacity for me is too much to even take this mug serious, though.
Yeah.
How could you, fix your lips to ask somebody that shit?
Because they won't let me do what I want to do, bitch.
Like, you could have the worst relationship in the world with your parents and he could know it. The audacity to say they can't come to this wedding, which is traditionally supposed to be about the woman.
Yo.
Fuck out of here, B. Talking like New York niggas. Fuck out of here, B. Anybody from the North listening and listen to my Southern impersonation of them, they gonna be on my ass.
They probably cringing right now.
It's all right.
Saying what we feel when they do a Southern accent and sound like fucking hee-haw. But
like a redneck ass Klansman.
And it's like, no, it sound like that. But yeah, so hopefully that, I guess, answered that. Again, if you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it into our website, or you can send it into conversationcarnartist@gmail.com. So yeah, let's see, what do I want to begin with? Y'all reaching like a motherfucker with this whole Usain Bolt and Ellen shit. Like, y'all, I'm talking about, I've never seen a reach so deep and so tried. Ellen posted a picture of her hopped on Usain Bolt's back. It's a meme that she made because, of course, he won, because he always fucking wins, because that's what he does. And she said that this is the way I'm going to go get my groceries from now on. Now, obviously, for anybody with any fucking common sense, we all knew that Ellen meant because of how fast he is, that would be the fastest way for her to go get her groceries, as opposed to hopping in a car, or on a bus, or on a train, or on a plane, or whatever, because he's super fast. That's the joke. But y'all niggas out here got all up in your feelings and was like, she's racist and this white woman's on his back and reaching. Like, I saw that photo and I laughed. Then I saw the backlash behind it and I was like, are you fucking serious? If you take Ellen off of him and you put her on Michael Phelps, the joke still stands. You know why? Because the joke is based on the speed of the person and not the race of the person. It's not like, this had anything to do with him being black and everything to do with the fact that he fast as shit. He's so fucking fast that he was ahead of them enough to look back and fucking smirk at his competition while he was still running. That's fast as fuck. Like, I just don't understand how y'all got racism out of that. Like, reaching.
So I saw the picture and it wasn't really funny to me because I went all into logic mode. Like, how the fuck you gonna get the groceries back? Like, one, the bags, if you use paper, you're not gonna be able to hold them right. They gonna tear up, and your groceries gonna be all over the damn place. Or the plastic bags, they too damn little. I mean, the speed and the velocity that you running with are not gonna hold up what's in the bag. They gonna tear apart.
You be going too deep into stuff, right?
I can't help it. Them bags gonna be like parachutes. Y'all gonna get all fucked up. It ain't gonna work right. So I was like, that don't make sense. But I still don't get it. We've gotten to the point. I don't believe that black people in America are oversensitive. I don't like that. I don't like this blanket. Anybody that says anything that they want to should be able to say it, even if it's culturally insensitive. The real people who say it are saying brown people are all sensitive, oversensitive and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't believe that, but there is a level to which you're seeking to find the racial problems in things that are harmless or meaningless. And maybe it's not harmless or meaningless because there is a history of black people being used as props, black people being sat on, black people being objectified by white America in that way. That used to happen. But where is the line between the intentions of a person and that level of being objectified? Like,
there's nothing in Ellen's history that would make me feel like that was what she meant by that. There's nothing in anything that I've seen her do throughout her entire career. I don't even know that Ellen's had any scandals. Like, has she? Other than when Anne Hesh was with her and then said that she was with her because the aliens abducted her. And now Anne Hesh is married to a man with kids. I don't really know. Outside of that, I just, there's nothing about Ellen that would make me feel like that's what she meant by that. Now, if Bill O'Reilly had posted
it'd be different.
It'd be a little different.
But that's my thing. Like, where is the room for harmless intention, jokes? Because there is a large group of black people that are making us being used for anything by any group outside of black taboo, and you can't do it and you can't say it. This was clearly a joke in reference to how fast he was. The mere fact that he's black happened to be an issue. I mean, if a white man had one, I'm convinced she would have did the same thing.
She did the same thing. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I can't tell you how to feel about the situation. I feel like intention is a big part in it. But I also know that there is some people that have well intentions that do racist stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think this is one of them, though.
I really don't. I mean, again, I follow Ellen since she had her own little show. And then she lost the show because she came out as gay. And then she got with Anne Heche, and that was a whole thing because Anne Heche, again, blamed that part of her life on being abducted by aliens and all of that shit. And now she's with Portia de Rossi, who's beautiful. And she's happy. Like, again, there's nothing that has been in her history that would make me feel like she was trying to say anything racist by making that photo.
But let me tell you what happens when you cover a whole blanket over black people and say, you know, you can't use us like this in any context for any reason. You know, nobody can. What's going to happen is these tables in Hollywood in which they sit around and say, how are we going to staff this? What are we going to talk about? They're going to have to ask themselves, can we put a black person here? How are we going to put a black person here? Should we put a black person here? Well, what if we say the wrong thing? What if we do the wrong thing? And it's going to further, and it's extremely polarized now in Hollywood, but it's going to just intensify that. And I think we there now. We can't get black people on the screen from white people. You know, we can't, and that's a part of it. But not saying that the bad don't happen. I'm saying that we got to compartmentalize this stuff. We got to understand the different contexts for how people use black people with intention, without intention. We got to compartmentalize that shit because all of them things can be handled and addressed in different ways. You can't put a blanket over all of that shit and say, yeah, you can't use black people. You got to say, well, you know, the way she used the black person wasn't about his race. It was about his speed. But there is a history in which black people were used as props and things of that nature, but it was not connected to this situation. Like, we got to compartmentalize and understand the different contexts of what a person's intentions are and what harm is doing now, you know, versus connecting it to something that you got to go dig up deeply in the internets to find out, you know, this thing haven't happened.
I was glad she didn't apologize because I don't feel like she had anything to apologize for. All she said, I think she released a statement saying that she, you know, abhors racism, would never be connected to anything, and would never put that message out. She didn't apologize for posting the picture. She shouldn't apologize because it was just a fucking funny picture that people reached on, to me, my opinion. And I mean, there's so much stuff that happens that you don't have to reach on. Why are you taking the time to look for shit and shit where it's not there? Because that takes us into Donald Trump, who told us that we as black people live in poverty. We got fucked up schools. You know, our lives are shit. So we might as well vote for him because why not? Why not vote for him? When your life is already in the shitter, how could it get any worse by voting for him? Might as well. Now that's different. It's a little different than the whole Ellen thing.
If Ellen had photoshopped a KFC into the picture, that would be different. If Ellen had put a cotton field in the picture, that'd be different. If she had put a watermelon on Usain Bolt's shirt, that'd be different.
Usain? Is it Usain? I never know how to say
it. I imagine since he's African, I imagine U is U. Okay. So I imagine it's Usain. Usain, I don't think it's probably not that.
Okay.
But I don't know. He's African, so maybe if she had photoshopped a Sahara desert with, you know, gazelles in the background, if they was running towards what else? What else is stereotypical African?
I don't know.
African racism.
I can't think of
if she had put a gold AK-47 around his back, you know, he too old to have a gold AK-47. That's like 12-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
But there are ways that this could have been inappropriate. There are ways this could have been racist.
I didn't see it for that, and I don't get you people sometimes. I guess I guess, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and do the Nate Parker and just get that out of the way because I really don't want to do that at all. Do you want to just go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nate Parker. I don't know if we talked about it before, about the whole rape case that he had that he was not convicted of. Let me just, because I only know about, I know he wasn't convicted of it. And the girl killed herself in 2012. And there's been all of this shit about people not supporting the movie. And I want to say this. Whether or not you're going to go see this movie or not, I'm tired of people saying, you know, how long ago it was and so it shouldn't matter. But rape does not have an expiration date for the victims anyway. Somebody that's a victim of rape, they don't get to like say, oh, it was a long time ago. It don't fucking matter. And in the case of this girl, she decided that she couldn't live with it at all. And after 3 tries, she killed herself. So I kind of cringe when I see people say, well, it was this many years ago. Why are people still upset? Why does it matter? Because it matters. Rape matters. That it doesn't have an expiration date. To me, because I don't know why the perps get an expiration date. Victims have to live with that their whole life. It don't just go away for them. So that just Now I will say, I did not plan to go see this movie either way. And let me tell you, it didn't even have shit to do with Nate Parker. Even before I equated him with that whole rape situation. Me personally, and this is my personal opinion, I am tired of the slave stories. We have contributed so much more to history, in my opinion, than slavery. Like, I'm gonna go see I wish I was intending to look up the name of the movie with Taraji and Janelle Monáe, where they are showing the story of the women that helped with the space program. I want to see those stories because we contributed so much more to history, and I'm so tired of them regurgitating these fucking slave stories. I just don't want to see them anymore. So even prior to this, I was not going to support this movie simply because I don't want to support slave movies anymore, because I just feel like we have other stories that need to be told that are much more positive stories. We did more than just overcome slavery. We are more than that. And so for me, I just don't want to see the movies no more. So I'm not going to support any more of the ones that's coming out here forward. Me personally, I don't want to see the shit. So
I think that it don't matter when a person did something bad. It represents the capabilities of that person. And so I don't think when you're talking about that time, on it, he's capable of that. He did that.
And the fact that they tortured the girl after that, I mean, that was part of it as well. That says a lot about him as a person, not as an actor, not as, as a human being, as a man. That says a lot about him. And especially when there are no consequences for that, what would keep him from doing it again at some point? So
Nate Parker raped a girl. His roommate raped her as well. The reason Nate got off is because
he had sex with her previously.
His roommate served 6 months, but won his appeal because she wouldn't testify. And then they started stalking her, and then a lot of his friends started harassing her. And so it turned into this big situation where, one, the court system is all rooted in misogyny. All you need is an old white man on these cases that devalues the experience of women in America, and you get no, you had sex with her before, so it don't matter. Which, what that implies is, women, if you have sex with a man, that gives him the right to be able to have sex with you in the future.
Forevermore. He could just, whenever he get ready to, there it is.
Invalidating a woman's ownership of her own body. But this is the system that we live under. And so, second, you got a group of people out here that are like, he's innocent. He's innocent because in a jury or his peers, all that stuff, he's innocent. Well, innocent is a legal term. It's not a moral term. And the shit that he did in the context of morality is horrific. And it should always be regarded as the same horrific, no matter how much time has passed in the situation. Now, this moves into, what do you do now? Yeah. Because when a person does something that's bad, how do you respond? The initial response is to boycott that person. But we're talking about a movie. We're talking about a production. We're talking about this piece of work that involves a bunch of other people. You got Gabrielle Union in here, which is a rape survivor. Mm-hmm. And so
I wonder how that works for her. Like, being a survivor of rape and working in a movie with him, I just wonder if that would be like triggering, or like, I don't know. That would be difficult for me, I think, working with him, knowing that he's capable. There's
a lot of variables. She could have overcame that.
Yeah.
She could have worked through that before they got to working with him, because this stuff has constantly been coming up about his past, you know. Or she might just be barreling through it to get it over with and be done with it. But I would just hate for boycotting him to be the reason that something else is taken away from these women like Gabrielle Union because of a man, even vicariously through that boycotting.
And that's what makes it difficult, because so then what the answer still is, what do you do?
So this is where I came up with. I think what's important to me is my intention, what I know is wrong, and how I act on that, knowing that that's wrong. I believe that I can watch that movie to support everybody else and scoff at his position. Mm-hmm. I also believe that I can recognize him having played a character well, and him being the shit person that played that character. I mean, because it gets deep.
He still benefits from it, though. He's going to get the same benefits as everybody else on that movie.
But that means that the only level of separation from how we respond to anybody in this world is our knowledge of it. Because have you seen anything with Mark Wahlberg in it lately? Johnny Depp? We can go down a list.
Yeah.
We can go down a list of men that have histories. Enjoy the Marvel movie lately with Iron Man in it, Robert Downey Jr. We can go down a list. We can go down a list and say, and we will find somebody that's a part of everything that has done something that we don't agree with. Does that mean that we separate ourselves from everything that exists in this world? Or are we supposed to be comfortable in just not looking for that thing, not knowing it, not having the knowledge or the awareness, and participating in it and be gleeful and ignorant in our bliss, or blissful in our ignorance?
It just seems unfair, because essentially what that means then is you can go be a rapist, you can go be somebody that does all these horrible things. As long as you're in Hollywood, you will still, because anybody else, like, look at all the people who tweet out racist shit and they lose their job behind that shit. Ain't even illegal, but because the company wants to separate themselves from that person loses their job because it's something that they decided to do. They suffer a consequence. But if you want to not suffer a consequence, just become an actor or an actress. And because you suffering a consequence means that everybody around you vicariously suffers that same consequence, then you'll just, as long as you can skirt the court system, then you live your life. And your victim's just out here just chilling.
It's not going to happen like that forever. He has to be on the up and up for the rest of his life.
Does he? Look at Bill Cosby. He just has to get better about it.
What do you mean?
He just has to get better about how he goes about it. He didn't have to be on the up and up. He just knows that he has to do it a little differently. He is still the same person that he was, a bit smarter now because of what happened that first time around. Bill Cosby did that his whole career that we're just not about now, almost, and he was able to get away with it.
I mean, I think that there's room for Nate Parker to have changed, to be different. I don't think it changes that his moral compass is one that will allow something like that to happen, so it could potentially happen again if he put in the same situation.
He released a statement about it that was like one of them apologies that's not an apology. I should have looked it up, but
he probably don't believe he did anything wrong.
That's what I'm saying. To the fact, I feel like where he's at now is totally possible. I just think he'll be better about it. He has the means now to cover it up a little better than he did when he was in college.
Well, if he does it again and gets caught, like if he does something like that again and gets caught, he ain't getting no pass because he's an actor. He ain't getting no pass because he's in Hollywood. He's going to get that same treatment from that misogynistic system, but his past is going to bury his ass in that situation. You know,
it's just unfortunate for the woman that has to be the one to go through it so that happens.
It's unfortunate, but depending on what system you believe in, if you're a Christian, you believe that he's going to get his consequences of punishment somehow, afterlife or whatever God's going to do, he ain't going to get no blessings or whatever. If you are Hindu or Buddhist, karma,
he'll come back as a...
You know, if you're spiritual, then the universe is going to fuck him over. Like, at the end of the day, there is an entity that will make right what has been wronged. You know, and I can't control that. I can't control that. And I don't want to remove myself from, because what if Gabrielle Union is your girl and you rolling to see this movie for Gabrielle Union, you don't even like him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, should you not watch it now? Because that ain't even, so boycotting him means you got to sacrifice stuff. It means that these other black actors that are on the platform in a time when we're trying to put black people on the movies and support black, you know, productions. I ain't saying this the wrong time. Please don't forgive this man for nothing he did and don't forego that. I'm just asking the questions. I don't know the answers. I don't know what you should do.
Well, like I said,
this is one of them nuanced situations where I don't know.
I'm not supporting it just because I'm tired of the slave movies. I honestly am. And I am going to just be more cognizant of the movies that I support going for. Because I'm tired. And I think as long as these movies keep like being blockbuster hit, like where they're gonna keep making slave movies. And I just don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to watch it anymore. I just don't. I want to see movies about us being the other things that we have been. That's not all we are.
It's gonna be a movie one day that got somebody in it that you like that's done some bullshit. That ain't a slave movie. And I imagine that's where your dilemma is gonna be as to what you do about this situation. Because
it's the same way with R. Kelly. Like, there's people on the production, like, on his... I still don't support it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't even think about those other people. I don't support his music because of who he is as a person. And I don't think he should benefit. It's the same way that I would want Joe Blow that works at fucking Winn-Dixie, if he was out here doing fuck shit, I wouldn't want him to be working, checking my groceries out. Same thing with R. Kelly. So I don't support his music because of that. Now, that also means that the producers and the songwriters and the people behind him, I don't support as well vicariously because of him. But it's like, I don't like his music too.
Well, I think it is different with music because the music is, for R. Kelly, the music is a representation partly of the acts that he portrayed. But the movie is not. A movie is not. You know, a movie in no way, that movie ain't linked to that. You know, R. Kelly music is linked to his past, his history, what he enjoys, why he enjoyed that thing. So you can disconnect yourself from that easily. But when you're talking about a movie, it's just a person portraying somebody else. Like, his real self is cast up under the shadow of a character.
But I've done this before. Like, the movie about Prince of Egypt is my favorite, like, story from the Bible, and I watched the cartoon version when they made the real life. I can't remember what it was, Kings of Egypt, whatever that real life. I had to go support that shit because they had a bunch of white folks in it. Now, I like the actors that were in those roles, but I felt like they shouldn't be in those roles. I didn't go see that shit. Even though I like the actors, and even though that I know that has an impact on them, they should never have been in those roles. So them kind of movies, I don't watch them because I don't support it, because y'all ain't black, y'all are not Egyptian, you're white, and it's stupid. Why are you whitewashing shit? So I don't support it, even though I like the actors and other things, and actresses and other things.
Well, that's macro though. That's like Hollywood making a widespread movie decision, you know. But we talking about a movie that was created that nobody had a problem with until this past of his came up. You know, like,
well, but they made the decision to cast him, even though, because this ain't the first time that this came out. So I'm sure that the people who cast him knew already, because this when he was in Red Tails, like, this every time he like has, this is the largest attention that it's gotten, but every time he's in something, like, it comes up, just not as loud as this time. They still make the decision to cast him regardless of that.
At the end of the day, I don't want it to sound like I want an allowance to be there for people who do those wrongs, but we have to, I guess, determine for ourselves where the line is of what other people lose because of that one person.
Yeah.
What the other people that are a part of those productions, movies, whatever, do they deserve to lose that? Because hell, with most black women, they gonna be rape survivors most of the time, statistically.
Yep.
You know, so with Gabrielle Union and whatever other African American females in there that have went through that, at what line do they get to lose your support to? You know,
well, are you not supporting them, or are you not supporting the movie? Because it's not like you not supported Gabrielle Union and all the other stuff. Like, black women love her and being Mary Jane, even though I fucking hate that show and I don't get why people like it.
well, if that's the rationale, then you should be able to watch the movie supporting Gabrielle Union and not worry about Nate Parker being a part of it.
What do you mean?
You're saying
That I can still be in support of Gabrielle Union and not watch it. Like, me not going to see this movie or me boycotting this movie doesn't mean that I'm boycotting her or that I don't support her. I can just still support her in the other things that she does.
Well, you're not supporting her, but when you don't support, when you say I'm not going to support Nate Parker because we're going to take money out of his pockets, you're taking money out of everybody else's pockets too in that situation. And so not supporting the movie because of him is not supporting a whole bunch of other people that could use that support in the situation.
But it's not supporting them overall.
But
if I've watched every other movie that Gabrielle Union has been in, if she my ride or die, and every time I see her some shit, I'm there front and center, and this time I don't think that I'm not supporting her overall. This decision, this movie, because of him, I'm not gonna support.
Well, if every movie for the next 10 years, every movie that Gabrielle Union is a part of, a man that has a rape history comes out and nobody supports it because of that support ain't gonna help her.
But what are the odds that that'll happen?
I don't know, but I'm saying I don't know.
I'm not telling anybody to go see the movie or not go see the movie, because I think everybody has to make their own decision. I think my part of this dialogue mostly was, I'm tired of motherfuckers saying that it was this many years ago, so I don't get why people are upset about it or why it matters. Or because, again, what you're saying is that essentially people should just be able to get over and get behind rape. It's not a big, after some years pass, then bygones should be bygones. And again, this girl don't get that. She died. She's gone. She took her life because she couldn't live with it. She didn't get an expiration date where she felt better or where it just went away for her. And most victims don't. All of them don't kill themselves, but all of them have to live with that shit and try to find a new normal for themselves, because that fucks up your normal. And they have to go through all of that while, you out here just doing whatever the fuck it is you want to do. So I think I'm tired of seeing them kind of comments. I don't care whether about people go to the movie. Again, my reason for not supporting it doesn't even have anything to do with him. Prior to all of this, I had already decided that I wasn't going to go see that movie because I'm just tired of slave movies. I just don't want to. I'm tired of that. I don't want to see Roots, that show. Like, every year there's like 2 or 3 of these fucking movies. The Help, the Butler. Like, I'm over it. I don't want to see no more slave movies. I don't want to see it. So my reasoning for not supporting it ain't even got nothing to do with him. It's the context of the movie.
I mean, I don't even care about that movie. Nate Parker got the biggest fucking nose of any black person I've never damn seen. I don't know. Y'all can find me a bigger nose black person and send me a picture of that shit, because his huge. Nose is fucking ridiculous.
It takes up a lot of his face. Like, it's what you zoom in on when you look at his face. You can't help it because it's so massive.
Maybe because he been manipulating this storyline so damn much that Pinocchio shit done kicked in on his ass.
Except for it goes wider instead of out.
Wild. It just take up his whole like.
It does.
All I see is nose. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's huge.
His nose might as well be mustard on a fucking white shirt while you talking to somebody. To me, that shit is ridiculous. For me, that goes into Darren Sharper.
Oh yes.
This ain't no big thing, but Darren Sharper is a athlete that played for a bunch of teams. I think he played for the Ravens mostly, but he went around different cities raping women, drugging them. He got 18 years. That's not long enough.
It is not.
They need to put his ass away. This just goes into the same system of misogyny in which we come from, a culture in which men have felt ownership over women. Men used to own women, might as well say. And that same mentality still exists. And that's the mentality that exists with these old judges. It's the mentality that exists with these DAs. It's the mentality that exists with these lawyers. It's the invalidation of women that allows men to get little time, like Darren Sharper, to get off, like Nate Parker, to get, appeals won, because that rape victim is terrified to testify, and he gets off. Like, it's the same system that does that.
It is fucking hard as shit to be a black woman in America. Like, it's just exhausting. You don't own a gender. Like, you're not superior simply because you happen to have been born with a penis. That isn't how it works. And I don't give a fuck if we did have sex. That doesn't mean that whenever you decide that that's what's going, like, that's like saying if I go into Regis and get some money and then go back and just demand money with a, like, that it's not my money. I can't just go in and do that whenever the fuck I want to do it. That's not how that works. You don't own these women.
And the power that men have in society is not because men are men. It's literally because men were just the first ones here. Like, if women were the ones who made the rules and the power, our ass would be getting raped, and they'll be getting off on this shit in 18 years. Like, it's just like Rick and Morty episode, Raising Gazorpazorp.
Oh, and they went that planet that
they
was
went
run
to
by
a planet
the
where
women.
ran by women. That would be the same situation if women decided to come across the seas and say, we finna start a system.
You see, they didn't even want men there.
Exactly. They
didn't even want no parts of it. Like,
when males were born, they shot them out of a tube out into the wild while they was continuing to grow and create their civilization.
They didn't even want. They had a utopian civilization, and they got rid of the boys when they were born.
Mind you, it is a very sexist episode because, like, the resolution and the ways the women were acting towards each other is a feminist nightmare.
It is,
but just knowing that women being women don't make them any more inferior than just the fact that men created the system. The same way black people, brown people in America being brown don't make them inferior. It's just that white men made the system. The same way for you don't have inferior faith if you're not Christian. It's just that Christian white men made this country. We can go deeper. If you are not straight in America, this system was made by straight heterosexual men, white men. And so it's all about the people that created the system that in this context invalidates a woman's existence, body, rights. So fuck rape, fuck misogyny,
yep.
Fuck the system, fuck everybody. I feel like Tupac at the beginning to hit him up. And if you down with misogyny, fuck you too. If you down with rape, fuck you too. That's how I feel about it.
On a lighter note, did you see Countess Vaughn's new music video? And I use music video extremely lightly.
Unfortunately, I did.
That was the weird. I don't know what I watched. I don't understand it. I don't know why she was doing that awkward wiggle thing, because it wasn't dancing. She was just kind of wiggling up and down, and she had like crazy eyes. Like, it was just fucking weird.
Is she retarded?
I don't think so.
I want to know what her IQ is.
She don't act like, okay.
Her character on the Parkers was definitely.
Well, she's on R&B Divas, right? I watched a couple of episodes of that before. She she honestly kind of acts like her character on the Parkers, like in real life.
Which was an intellectually disabled, low IQ individual.
She low key kind of acts like Kim. She kind of does. She does a little bit. That video, if y'all have seen that shit, I forgot what is it about? I couldn't even figure. Again, I don't know what I watched. Is the white woman, is she with the guy and the white woman is his mistress, or is she the mistress? It counts as the mistress.
I think the white woman. No. I think this is a new theory, brand new. I just came up with it. I think that Countess and her friend are stalking a happy couple, and I think she kidnapped the dude and then kidnapped the white woman for some personal agenda. And so her saying, "Do you love me?" is just stalker talk. That's what I think. That's what it is.
That makes that video even more creepy. Thank you, Mr. On Point. Thank you.
Can't nothing make it more creepy than that damn crazy ass wig she had on and damn fucking weird moves she was doing. Like, what is wrong? I don't know. I think she's a low functioning individual.
Yeah. I don't. That was just fucking.
Like, who came up with the idea?
Who was her producer? Because look, I could have done better than that. Like,
the singing wasn't even great.
She don't even lip sync to the music at all in the video. You know how you watch a music video and they're moving their lips to their song? She don't even do that. Like, anytime the camera's on her, she's doing that awkward wiggle thing, and she ain't even singing. Her
So
lips ain't moving.
between doing the awkward wiggle thing, everything else is in slow motion pretty much. Like, they turning their heads in slow motion and they hair flying up in slow motion and her facial expressions from being angry, you could tell she's supposed to be angry, but it's in slow motion. Like, I don't know how she believes she been watching R&B videos in her head, but they are clearly interpreted from a low functioning, low IQ individual.
This shit was so weird. Like, as I kept seeing it in the comment, I always read the comments before I click on stuff. The comments made me feel like I probably shouldn't watch this because everybody was just talking about how fucking weird it was. But then the curiosity got the best of me, and I clicked on that shit. And the whole time I was just sitting there with the biggest frown, that confused frown that you make. Like what am I watching? What is this exactly? It was awful. It was awful. It's one of the most awful things I've ever seen. Fucking weird. I don't know.
I guess in her head, she thought she was going to put out this video and then she was going to be all over TV and people were going to love it. And
it went viral for sure because people were like fucking talking about it.
She was going to get signed to a label, LaFace Records or something. And she was just going to be able to be on. What show is she on?
R&B Divas.
Why the fuck is she on R&B Divas?
I don't know.
I mean, I was just thinking about it. They done gassed her ass up for some jokes. That's what done happened. Kiki Wyatt. Who else on there?
Wait, is it R&B Divas? Let me see. Let me not lie. She's on one of those reality shows.
I know she on one of them shows.
Let me see which one it is. I feel like it was. Let me see. She is on. I don't know.
She on crack.
I mean, she maybe.
Nah, she ain't on crack.
On
You're
some
supposed to be little if you on crack, right? You can be fat and on crack. You can be a fat crackhead.
Yeah, it's some fat.
I don't even want to say she fat, but she definitely built like a linebacker.
No, she's Hollywood Divas. Is what
Hollywood Divas.
Yeah,
so
Divas.
She thought she was gonna put this video out and get invited to R&B Divas. That's what she thought was gonna happen. She thought it was gonna be some amazing shit.
It's not.
It's not.
It's the worst thing I think I've musically. I think I've seen.
Is it the worst thing musically?
This year. I mean, not like in general, but maybe this year. Well, anything designer has done. Y'all, and fight me about this, because I know there's people out there that think he's like the next fucking coming of hip hop. How can you even determine that when you don't know what the fuck he's saying? Like, and I looked up the lyrics to Timmy Turner. That shit is not as fire as y'all try to make it seem. I don't even know what I read.
But at the point that you still have people that support you, that's still different than this shit.
You right, because she ain't nobody. Everybody was just making fun of this shit. Like, it went viral. It nobody took it seriously. Ain't nobody finna be trying to find what that song. I need to get nobody's gonna want to listen to that shit. Just it's creepy. You don't even want to watch the video more than once because it's that fucking creepy.
Stop while you behind, Council Vaughn. That's it. That's over. I mean, I wish you could take it off the internet. We all know that's not how the internet works.
No, that's out there forever.
This is on people's phones. This is on people's hard drive. They is not gonna let you forget this shit right here.
No.
In 30 years, when you on E doing a special about, or when you invited to a special about other relevant shit, because you ain't gonna be relevant at the time. I'm sorry, let's put it to you like that. Harsh reality.
It's not.
They gonna bring this shit up.
They are.
I want to let you know.
Indeed. Okay, so I was only going to talk about Eddie Long, but I also feel like, okay, because I had this conversation with AC Blow actually last night about Donnie McClurkin is getting married to a woman.
Okay.
And Donnie McClurkin is the religious singer, the gospel singer who was gay and then said that God delivered him from it and he's no longer gay.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a conversation about, and this is, again, fight me, but this is my opinion. I personally, can't speak for no other female on the planet, I personally would be unable to marry somebody who was previously with dudes. I personally wouldn't do it. That's just me. Because, and then, so this went in the conversation with AC Blow, this went into the whole thing of whether or not I feel like people can be delivered from homosexuality. And the fact that I'm telling you that I wouldn't marry somebody that was previously into dudes, no. Because deliverance, for me, deliverance means that you don't have the desire, like you don't fuck with that no more. Like you don't even want to. I feel like this situation is more a situation of suppression. You're suppressing how you feel because you know it's not accepted. I don't want to be with you when you reach that peak of I can't suppress this shit no more, because somebody gonna die. Like, it's not a lot of things that I would go to prison for, and I wouldn't like consciously go to prison for this. But if I like walk on you with like a dude, you gotta die. You have to die at that. Like, you're gonna die. I'm gonna kill you. That's gonna be the end of it. I'm gonna probably go to prison type shit. You're gonna die. I'm trying to save lives here.
You can't say this is admissible in court. This episode.
Well, hey, look,
your ass going to jail.
I'm probably gonna go to jail anyway because I'm black. But
either way, you gonna get on the scan and say, "Yeah, I killed that motherfucker."
You was right.
You gonna do that? That's what you gonna do.
Look, so I'm trying to save lives by saying I'm not gonna date you or I'm not gonna marry you if you were previously introduced. Not judging you. I don't give a fuck what you do. What I'm saying is what I'm not comfortable with. So I would not marry Donnie McClurkin because I don't know that I believe that whole situation. Like, I just feel like what happens is people start suppressing how they actually feel because it's not accepted. Especially with him being a black gospel singer, a black male gospel singer. It ain't a lot of leeway given to him. And I get it, but I wouldn't want to be mixed up in that. So, yeah. And that also goes into Eddie Long and his weight loss. Have you seen him lately?
Look like he on crack.
Look like Skeletor. Talking about he ain't sick. Talking about he just taking a active role in his health and he's living a vegan lifestyle. But you weren't fat before, Eddie. You were buff. You were sending pictures to motherfuckers in body armor suits because you thought you were buff. You done lost all your muscle tone and shit. Like, you just look like a skeleton. Like, he looks sick. I don't give a fuck what he says. I don't believe that this is no natural weight loss that has happened and that has occurred. I just don't believe it. Sorry, Eddie. Not buying it. No. I know your church might be because they believe every fucking thing that you do is just, roses and rainbows. But I don't buy it, Eddie. I'm not buying it. Sorry.
God delivered him that package. Don't be mad at me, Christians. I'm a Christian by conditioning. But Donnie McClurkin too. Your ass ain't delivered.
I just don't. But okay.
That sounded bad. That sounded bad.
Well, but here's the thing.
You believe you delivered.
Believing that you can be delivered. See, it goes into that whole whether or not people are born or if this is something they're choosing and sinning and you can be delivered from sin. Because that's the implication. If you can be delivered from homosexuality, that means that it's a sin that God can bring you out of if you want them to. And again, just my perspective comes from working with people and seeing people who would give anything not to feel the way that they feel because of how society treats them, because of how their family treats them, because of how much easier their life would be. So I feel like if that was the case, why wouldn't all of these people who fucking want that more than life itself, why does that not happen for them? What is the answer to that? Because I know a ton of people that feel that way, that would, if they could be straight, they would be. Just because it's easier.
This is the thing. I don't... Anybody that's gay that's listening to this can correct me or give me input to help me understand this better. But I do think there are contexts to what we label as homosexuality. Mm-hmm. Because in our masculine ass misogynistic society,
especially among black men,
we gonna say that if you had sex with a man, you gay, you homosexual. Mm-hmm. And we separate it from being an identity. Mm-hmm. We separate it from being what you identify as, and we diminish it down to acts, and we want to identify people as that if they have that. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't agree with that, but as a society, the masculine part of society, that's what they do. But I do think that there are contexts of being homosexual. I think that most group of people that are gay were born gay. Don't know why. Don't know if it's pre-gestational. Don't know if it's genetic. Don't know where that is. Clearly, we ain't made that far in science yet. We don't know where that is. Mm-hmm. Look up fraternal birth order if you want some kind of evidence around that. If you're trying to get into figuring it
Please
out.
Don't. Okay, I can't speak for you. Do not hit me up in no comments or shit. Don't send me no Bible verses. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I think there is, working with boys that have been sexually abused by men, I think there is room for boys that were not born with that pre-genetic disposition or whatever brings you to homosexuality, but being conditioned physically to enjoy having sex with males. Mm-hmm. So I believe that's a possibility. So I do believe that there is a context of enjoying relations with men that is not genetic but is conditioned, that might be able to be addressed differently.
Well, that's Donnie McClurkin's story too, is that he was sexually abused as a child. I mean, so he might fall within that conditioned group.
My problem with it now is he makes it seem like a one size fits all deliverance from homosexuality to his congregation, to faith, to religion, to black males, which really invalidates the black gay population that is, you know, Christian and devoutly religious. Yeah. And it makes it seem as if anybody is like that. It doesn't take into consideration his specific context of how he believes that he became homosexual or enjoying the relations of males.
Because he's used as the example. You know, it's like, well, Donnie McClurkin was delivered from it. So I don't know. All I'm saying is I wouldn't marry Donnie. It wouldn't be me. That's not my life. That's not the path I see myself taking. I'm trying, again, this is me attempting to save lives, because I know me, and I know I would not adequately be able to process that in a way in which we would both leave alive. So in order to not even get into that, I just would not be in that situation.
Now I want to give the women, I want to give y'all some tips. I'm trying to say hints.
Hint tips.
Temps. Let me give y'all some tips.
Give me some hints.
That's the combination of tips and hints. Tints. If you can't just come out and be like, have you ever had sex with a man? See, our role in society and that perception of masculinity gonna make him say, no. You can't ask him, are you interested in men? Because he gonna say, you can't ask him, is he gay? Yeah. Because if he's not having sex with men now, he's not gay to him. Yeah. You know?
Or there are down low men that feel like they're not gay. They just...
But that's because that's when you get to that separation of the physical versus the identity. Mm-hmm. I think that's how down low men can say, I'm not gay, is because they don't feel like they identify with gay people, but they like that male physical interaction. Mm-hmm. But women, what you got to do is you got to find out what he like in the bed. You know what I'm saying? God. Look, you know, you got to pretend like you want to, you know, peg a little bit.
Just look that up. Just look it up. Don't look it up at work, though.
Don't look it up at work.
It's not safe for work. Listen, for sure.
This having a sex is a man that want to be pegged is a man that want a woman to
use a strap on,
bang him with a strap on.
I had somebody on Piece of Fish contact me, and that's what he wanted specifically. He was looking for somebody to do that.
Now one of my friends, she told me that she kind of dance around and be like, I've always wanted to do that to a guy and yada 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 blah. As soon as he say, well, I might be up for that, she be like, nope, got your ass, I'm out. Sorry, wrong one. Holla, thanks for the meal.
That is hilarious.
Got dance around it.
I mean that.
Find out.
As far as like Donnie McClurkin, obviously his story is very public, so I wouldn't. Because this is another thing I had to get AC Blow to understand is that being a beard does not require knowledge. You can unknowingly be a beard for somebody and not even fucking realize it because it doesn't require you to be aware of this person's preference.
A beard, for people that don't know what it is, that didn't listen to the last episode in which I asked her what the hell a beard was and she told me.
Oh yeah, you did know.
I didn't know what the hell a beard was.
Yeah.
I got a beard. It's amazing. But I don't know.
Not this kind of beard.
Yeah, not that shit going on. Hell no.
A beard is a woman that is used to, or it doesn't have to be a woman, because I guess gay lesbians can have, I don't know if it's still called a beard. Anyhow, a beard is a person that is used, that is your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your lover that you use to hide behind so that people don't know that you identify as gay or lesbian or whatever the case may be. So they look at you, they see this man that's married to this woman and they assume, well, he's married to a woman, so obviously he is heterosexual when he is in fact not. Now, sometimes beards know that they're beards and they go into this shit realizing that, okay, he's gay. He don't want nobody to know he's gay because of the public perception or whatever, and so I'm just gonna like show up to shit with him so that people will know. Now, other times you have these senators and shit that be married to these women that actually think that these men are heterosexual and they're not until they, 10 years into the marriage and 2 kids later, they be like, I can't do this anymore. I've been living a lie. I'm in love with John in accounting type shit. So they are beards that were not aware that they were a beard. So you can know that you're a beard or you cannot know. It doesn't require knowledge for you to be one. It's just if you're being used to sway public opinion about what you are. Now, I will say this, because this is another part of this. Because I had jokingly said I still think Chris Bosh is gay. Don't give a fuck. Fight me. I had said jokingly I would be Chris Bosh's beard, but I really wouldn't. And let me tell you why. You got to play your fucking role. If I'm going to be your beard and the whole purpose of me being your beard is for you to like make people feel like you're not in fact gay, you can't be out here doing all of this shit that makes people feel like you are. Because what the fuck is my point? Like, what's my purpose? If you're going to still be out here eyeballing motherfuckers' crotches, or you going to be out here hugged up on people, or they got catching you like filling folks up on the court and shit, what is the point of me being your beard? You got to play your role in this. I can't be the only one acting. You got to act too. You got to try.
So you wouldn't for Chris Bosh because he don't play the role
well enough.
Because he
don't play the role
but
well enough.
If it was a person that played the role well enough, you would be.
And by beard, I mean I'll show up to shit with you. Right? Like when you need a date, when you need somebody to show up to this shit with you for the right amount of money, I will come in. I will be a true escort, not like the sleeping with you escort. Like I will be the person that like show up to shit. Your regular, steady girlfriend, and I'm doing air quotes, for a price.
If a woman for a man is called a beard, then a man for a woman should be called a lace front sew-in.
He's my lace front. That would be fucking hilarious.
Hiding his ass.
Yeah.
Hiding that natural hair.
I think beard was chosen because I guess beard makes you appear more appear more masculine. Is that it? Ain't.
I can't think of this dude's name, but it's an old dude that's been getting a lot of play online. It's an old dude with a gray beard, be wearing them shades. You seen that picture? Dang, I can't remember his name, but he cut his beard off, and he was. I don't know what the
one that like Mr. Steal Your Grandma?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Without a beard, he looked like Mr. Potato Head.
Damn.
Like, so I was thinking of it. It's just it hides the true nature of something behind it. That's what I was looking at.
Maybe. I feel like because it's used more for men, I don't even think there's a thing for women. I've looked at it, like the masculinity part of what a beard provides for a man. Like that's something that only y'all there are women that can grow beards, but
I don't know.
But I will be a beard for a price, and I have to be aware that I'm a beard, because if I don't know I'm a beard and you use me, I will kill you. You will die. So don't fuck with me. Is the lesson. Is what to take from this. Don't fuck with Ray.
She'll do it.
I got people that'll do it for me. I'll
She'll
get my
do
folks to fuck.
Yeah,
Well, I probably.
she'll do it, but she got people that can fuck with you up. But
Yeah.
she'll do it.
I probably would do it myself, and I would have to call them to help clean up. But yeah, don't fuck with me. If I choose to be a beard, that's one thing. If I knowingly do it, it's another. If you just out here acting like you all in love and you want to do this family shit, then 10 years later you talking about you been living a lie. You not finna be living at all, motherfucker. So, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned this earlier. Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
Made a comment
We ain't
in
shit.
Michigan
Our
about
lives ain't shit.
your schools are poor. You have a 58% unemployment rate amongst your youth.
You're living in poverty.
Living in poverty. What have you got to lose? Vote for me. I guarantee I will have 95% of the black vote by the end of this. I guarantee. One, Donald Trump don't know what the fuck the word guarantee means. Two, he don't understand a goddamn thing about statistics. Number three, Donald Trump, you shut your ass up about that damn, like,
How you gonna say all of these things are wrong with y'all? I ain't saying I'm gonna fix it. I'm just saying, why the fuck not vote for me?
so there is this ongoing dialogue about the Democratic Party failing Republicans. Failing black people. Democratic Party failing black people. And it's Republicans that have this dialogue. And the reason is because Republicans at their core believe that if you give people things, if you give people handouts, if you don't provide an opportunity for people to thrive on their own, then they're going to grow this entitled mentality in which now you always have to give them this thing. Not recognizing that the reason anything was ever given to black people is because of the history in this country and the lack of opportunities that black people had because of the relationship between white and black people. They don't take that into account. And furthermore, even if that's true, even if that's what you fully want to believe, you've got to have a fucking plan as a Republican as how you're going to change that and cater to that. Donald Trump literally said, what's the worst that can happen? That there is literally no decision you should fucking make with that logical rationale. As a supervisor, he ain't never said no shit like that. As a hiring CEO, owner, business, he ain't never made no decisions like that. But he telling black people to make that decision like that. And on top of that, a lot of people saying shit like President Obama is the reason that racism is at its peak, and asking questions like, do you think that race is better or worse than it's been? Well, the problem is the way that Donald Trump said what he said. He said your schools. He said your youth. He said your unemployment rate, as if we ain't even a part of America. He is applying to be the leader of the fucking free world, and we are a part of that shit. The poor motherfucking youth, the unemployed youth, is a part of his America that he's supposed to be auditioning to run. The schools are in the America that he is trying to run. Like, this ain't just an isolated ass vacuum that black people live in. We live in America. And so I just don't understand Donald Trump, because he's not understandable.
He's not.
But he is still a symptom of how black people are viewed in America. Your problems, your issues, your school, your poverty, your youth. How do they have the same mouth that says we're all one race, we're all Americans, but they still be able to isolate us out of that shit? You know what I'm saying? It's just when black people call white people out on their racist shenanigans and their white supremacy and all of that other shit, do they ever come up and say, no, we're one race.
Oh, okay.
No, we're all the same.
Oh, okay.
No, we're all Americans. That's the only time that shit happens. And so I want y'all to think about that dialogue. I want y'all to think about how out internally, he separates himself from the African American experience. He separates himself from the Muslim experience. He separates himself from the Latino experience. He separates himself from everything. You know, and if you are following Donald Trump, if you are a supporter of Donald Trump, do you do that?
How the fuck can you still be at this point?
You need, if you do that, you need to know that about yourself, and you need to know why. I mean, I understand why these people are supporting Donald Trump.
Even still?
Yes, because it's not about the shit he say. It's about what he represents to them perceptually. And what he represents is not a realistic view of what a president should be and how a country should be run. But they've taken this one little part of what he is and they've isolated and made that the thing that they want to be what Donald Trump is about. Mm-hmm. That's what they want it to be. And furthermore, all that other shit he say involving race and other groups, they don't have to feel the effects of that shit. And so they can, none of that shit mean nothing to them. The shit he say about black people means something to black people. The shit he say about Muslims means something to Muslims. The shit that he say about Latinos means something to Latinos. None of that shit mean anything to white people. And Donald Trump ain't said nothing bad about white culture.
Because there's nothing bad about that.
Exactly. Ain't nothing bad about white culture.
Of course not. They don't do anything wrong ever. They're perfect.
You know, and so
they're who we all should ascribe to be like.
And so this is another thing. When you say I'm not racist, I want you to think of the last time that you said something negative about another culture versus the last time you said something about your own culture. I don't know if you have or not. I'm just saying, think about that shit. We need to be able to assess ourselves and understand ourselves on that level of racial tolerance, racial connection, communication. So, but that's all I got. I ain't gonna remember no time to Trump punk ass.
Well, I think that's all she wrote.
Listen, I'm a Frank Ocean fan. Frank Ocean Endless came out, which Ain't Boys Don't Cry, and it's a visual album of him doing woodwork, building a set of stairs. I don't know what the fuck that means. Frank Ocean do everything in metaphors, so maybe it means something. I don't know. I'm them stairs better be on the cover of his damn album though. I'm gonna tell you that. I mean that's just what it is, but I liked it though. It's cool.
I haven't listened.
He did a cover of "At Your Best" by Isleys that I think Aaliyah did a version of too. So that was good. I really liked that one, but I like the whole thing for the most part.
I'll listen to it eventually.
But anyway, that's all I got. Anything else on your mind?
Y'all motherfuckers need to keep your dogs on leashes. Like, I get irate.
Listen, let me just tell you this. If y'all dog is not on a leash and you got a person like Red in your neighborhood, it would just she'll kill your dog, okay? I know she love dogs.
I love dogs. But if Cujo come running up on me, like, here's the thing that makes me angry about people. The people that don't put their dogs on leashes are not the owners of Chihuahuas. It's motherfuckers that's got motherfucking German Shepherds and goddamn pit bulls that you letting these dogs run around. And then when I get in your face because I'm mad because your fucking dog is running around, you tell me, oh, Blue wouldn't hurt anybody. Blue wouldn't hurt a fly. Fuck you and fuck Blue. You don't know. Blue don't know me. Blue ain't gonna hurt your motherfucking ass. I don't know. I might smell like chicken today. Maybe I just got through frying some. I don't fucking know how your dog is gonna respond to me. And you know what? You don't either. We get these animals and forget that they are in fact fucking animals. And sometimes they act that way. Sometimes they act like what the fuck they are. So don't come telling me that Blue ain't gonna do shit to me, because I don't want to fucking hear it. If Blue run up on me and I feel fucking threatened by Blue, it's gonna be a problem. And I'm gonna cuss your ass out because you're gonna be the reason why something happened to the dog. I'm gonna be angry at you because guess what? If you can afford to buy a fucking Blue Nose pit, then guess what? You can pay $10 for a goddamn leash. Leash your animals. If you don't live in a house with a backyard that's fenced in, and you live in an apartment complex, and I'm in that motherfucker, leash your dog. That ain't your yard.
I need you to do something for me. I need you to say Chihuahua.
What did I say?
Say it.
Why?
Just say it.
Chihuahua.
You're saying Chihuahua. Like wow back to back twice.
What am I supposed to be saying?
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua?
I think.
Is that right? I don't know.
I just, as a wordsmith, I would have knew that wow. That would have been the thing for me a long time ago. I ain't never heard it like that.
Chihuahua. I don't know. Anyhow.
Sorry to take away from
Leash your goddamn dog.
potency of your rant.
And the reason why this is a rant is because when I came to see Mr. On Point, motherfucking brown ass pit bull just out here running around, owner nowhere to be seen. Don't get a dog if you too fucking late. If your ass is too lazy to get off your ass and walk that dog, get a cat with a litter box, and you won't have to worry about that shit. How you not even outside with this motherfucker? So if I get mauled and shit, you're not even gonna fucking know it. You're not even gonna be able to come and help me because you still in your apartment. Are you kidding me? If I had seen him, because I called Mr. Oh Boy, and I was on the phone, and I was talking loud as a motherfucker because I wanted him, the dog's owner, to fucking hear me and come out there and say some shit so that we can have a whole conversation about how fucking irresponsible it is for you to have this goddamn dog out here running around assuming because he nice to you he gonna be nice to everybody.
Let me put it like this. I don't know if Red would kill your dog necessarily, but she will call somebody and you will never see your dog again. Like she will call. She would keep her eyes on that dog, call them, staring at the dog in the eyes, and say, "There is a vicious pit bull outside. I'm afraid for my life. Can you please get somebody to come and take this animal away?"
To somebody that will be responsible with him, because it's not the pit bull's fault. But again, even with I have a miniature schnauzer, and y'all done heard them call him a terrorist and a Chinese dictator, and all of those things. Even other with him being as small as he is, I don't ever let him out without a leash on him because I don't know how he gonna react to certain people. I really don't. He's a dog. He is an animal. He does not have the logical capabilities that I or you have. We forget that. These are still animals. They need to be treated as such. He my pet. That's my road dog. Absolutely. But I also know that he's an animal. He didn't snap at me before and I done had to whoop his ass. So I know if he'll snap at me, who he lives with all the time, he ain't gonna have no qualms about snapping at a stranger, and I'm not gonna put that on that person because it shouldn't be that way. I took the responsibility of getting him, so I'm gonna leash him.
And we know he'll snap on a stranger because if he had a switchblade when I was trying to walk him, I would have got my ass shanked in the gut 3 times. Last one twist. I know it.
I don't know why he act like this old boy comes to my house all the time, and he rubs Kingston, and Kingston cool with it. Long as you rubbing him. But even when you like stand up, he kind of get a little on guard. Like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Like, and he see you regularly and act like that. So again, if I just let him loose in my apartment complex, ain't no fucking telling what would happen. And I can't even be mad at him because he's being who he is. He a dog.
What would happen if you did that? If he was steal a car, pick up some of his cat friends, because we know he gonna be friends with cats, not other dogs, you know. And they gonna go plot some kind of bullshit.
He probably would.
In the community.
I wouldn't put it past him. That little motherfuckers.
I would
never have another dog like him.
They gonna go steal the little bags out of the little thing where you pick up the dog poo. They gonna steal all of them and be like, pick up your dog shit now, peoples. They just gonna just vandalize shit.
Oh, leash your dogs, folks. That's all. Just please, especially if you live anywhere fucking near me, because I will get in your face about this. Because it infuriates me. Because it's never people with little dogs. It is always people with dogs that could actually cause fucking bodily harm to me. And then sometimes, I've been out walking Kingston, and I done seen the dog, and the dog's gotten up on me before the owner even come around the corner. You know what kind of fuck shit could have happened in the time that you wasn't watching your motherfucking dog? Yes, I'm irate. Yes, I am angry. Yes, I am cussing you out. No, don't tell me to calm down. That makes me even angrier. Just fucking leash your dog. Fuck.
Got it out your system.
I did.
You done?
I am.
Okay. She's serious about this, folks.
I am.
I just want to let you know. But until we come to the next conversation,
we out.
Holla.